I'm here. The fan hat is on. That's right, it's Fanime Friday.
And now back to your irregular scheduled programming.
Hello, and welcome to Fanime Friday. This is where I take a comedic and then fan look at a particular episode, character, or story arc of an anime that I'm a big fan of. There's going to be a few ground rules, as this is the first episode, so I may as well explain them. There's really only one. It's just I am following the English dubbed version of stuff rather than the subtitled version. And the key reason for this is I don't speak Japanese. I'd love to speak Japanese, I really would. But I feel it's easier for me and better if I just pick one now and stick with it. It's easier for me to just take the dubbed version. It's what I grew up watching with some of them. It's what I prefer watching. I feel I get more into it from that reason. So because of that, that's the animes I'm going to be watching. In case anyone tells me I've misquoted something or I'm referencing something that doesn't work, I'm not. That's why I'm doing that. On top of that, it's always going to be stuff that I'm a fan of, so please don't get too offended if I do kind of slag it off a bit much in the first part. I am genuinely a fan. It'll always come up in the end. So anyway, this is episode 1. So I have decided to start with episode 1 of one of my favourite animes of all time. It's the one that kind of got me back into it, and it's the one that really got me into it as an adult. So that's why I'm such a big fan of it, and that's why I'm really looking forward to start off with our episode 1. And that is episode 1 of Naruto. Enter Naruto Uzumaki. It's a great one. It's a great one to start with, so here we go. Let's get the ball rolling. It starts off with the nine-tailed fox kicking the shit out of everyone. This is quite possibly one of the most interesting scenes, as he literally is there just smashing the hell out of everyone that he sees. And it literally says that there was one time it came around, it destroyed mountains, it destroyed forests. The nine-tailed fox was a demon fox that came to basically kill everyone. It's got a bunch of ninjas attempting to take it on. They hit the ground running with this thing. Naruto is, of course, as we now know, a world with ninjas and a world with demon foxes, particularly nine-tailed ones. So it's again nice to know that that's where they're going with this. The first thing that you hear, though, right, you hear the narration of it explaining that a nine-tailed fox came and began destroying the village hidden in the leaf, and that the ninjas rallied up against it. And then the first thing you hear is basically another ninja going, "Try and hold back until the fourth Hokage gets here." And they then go on to explain that the fourth Hokage was the greatest warrior of their town, the greatest warrior of the village, and was there to, and basically goes up to finally beat the nine-tailed fox. Big question, where the fuck were you at the beginning, okay? Like, where was he? I really am interested about this. He's the most powerful ninja. A demon fox gets there, and apparently it takes long enough for him to get there that the demon fox has time to destroy mountains, destroy many people in the village, destroy the forests surrounding these areas. Like, was he just kind of sitting there kind of going, alright, I'll get there when I get to the end of this chapter, okay? I'm reading this book, this is an important chapter, I'm going to get to the end, then I'm going to deal with your demon fox. And like arrives and is sitting there going, shit, a lot of people died. His entrance is quite something though. He's riding a giant toad. Only so many people can ride a giant toad into battle and still look impressive. So you know that he's a badass, right? It then says that he seals the demon fox as his kind of big battle move into a human host. And then it cuts to a child with the demon seal onto him, or what you can assume to be the demon seal onto him. Why the fuck did it have to be a baby? This is something I don't get. They're like, this is a powerful, evil, destructive beast, so we're going to put it inside of a child. What the fuck? And where did he even get a child from? Like, who is volunteering their kids to be like, hey, by the way, buddy, if you're looking for a kid, or like, did he arrive in the battle sequence? And like, there was a child happened to be there, and someone's like, what, because you don't afford a babysitter? In fact, wait, I can use this. Give me a child, we're going to sacrifice him to this demon fox. Better yet, I'll trap him inside there, it's fine, don't worry about it. Like, seriously, why did it have to be a child? Why in the world didn't he pick anyone? Why didn't he seal inside himself? This is a powerful demon. Clearly it's going to give you power if you trap it inside yourself. You're like, fuck it, I'll take that power, come on then. It's no worries to me at all. It then cuts, though, to the image of the child, blonde hair, marks on his face. Cuts to the same, basically what's supposed to be the same child, running amok in the city. And this I have to give credit to, right? This is the opening character of Naruto, as you find out later on in the episode. That is who, they even call him that when they're chasing after him. They're like, Naruto, stop! It turns out he is painted. There's a giant kind of four-headed kind of sculptor into the wall of each of the Hokages, and Naruto has graffitied on them. And Naruto basically is now being chased by a bunch of other ninjas and is outrunning them. This child, this nobody kid, is basically outrunning. So he's clearly already supposed to be, I don't know, like a genius kid, that he is managing to outrun all of these ninjas. He even manages to destroy, he manages to hide perfectly as they run past him. And Naruto's sitting there going, haha, I've managed to beat you. And he finally gets caught by his sensei, which I assume is like an elite level sensei. So he gets caught by his elite level sensei, and he's like, stop playing around, stop goofing around, you need to get back into class. Then his sensei goes on to say, you're actually a failure. Time out. If he's a failure in his class, right, this is just an everyday normal class that he takes him back to. And if he's a failure, and if he says he's failed inducting into being a ninja twice. This failure of a ninja managed to outrun and outmaneuver two qualified ninjas. I assume they're qualified ninjas because they're wearing the fucking uniform. Unless it happened to be these were just two random guys in a fancy dress party and thought, fuck it, we may as well try and catch Naruto, No, this is two fully qualified ninjas that basically get outwitted and outdone by a non-ninja who has failed twice to do his job. How bad is the ninjaing in this community, right? And that they can get outdone by this child, that he can outmaneuver them every step of the way, when he can't even pass to be a ninja. It really, I don't understand it. And yet the worst part is, they all the kids basically get told, right, that's it, we're all staying behind because Naruto skipped class, which is kind of a dick move. And I'm not gonna lie, up to this point, you really do just want to punch this child in the face. Right, he's been quite irritating. He has defaced a monument of some of the best. He has been a dick to a bunch of people in fancy dress. Apparently, he's disrespected his sensei, which he just seems to be a normal guy. And now he's caused all of his friends to stay behind after class, so that they have to then redo this. So already you're kind of sitting there going, this kid's an asshole. Okay, I thought you were some genius prodigy kid acting out because no one was respecting you. No, you're just an asshole. And it gets shown even more because they then have to do a transformation jutsu as part of their kind of class. So everyone basically lines up, comes forward, transforms into the sensei. This is the first step as well that you see of what you later find out to be a ninjutsu, but at this one time they've never mentioned what it's called, so I just keep calling it ninja fucking magic. And it's the first time that you see ninja magic, and it's quite impressive. They can literally, in a puff of smoke, transform into whoever they want. This makes, because ninja are supposed to be special stealth ops kind of people. You're supposed to be able to hide in plain sight. You can literally hide in plain sight now. This is very impressive in my opinion. And then they go on to do this, right? And everyone transforms into it. And then Naruto gets his shot. And basically, Naruto transforms into a sexy, older female of himself. And gets belittled for this, right? And I'm sitting there going, well, hang on a minute, time out. Everyone else is turned into Iruka Sensei. It is the Sensei's character. Iruka Sensei is the character. Who is holding the class. I probably should say this. And everyone else has transformed into him and done a very good job, and it looks like the part. Naruto made up an entirely new person to transform into who doesn't exist and manages to make smoke appear just perfectly to cover his near naked body, or his entirely naked body. It's only not naked because of the smoke. And then transforms it back, tells him he's made an entirely new jutsu called Sexy Jutsu. And, yeah, basically that's it. And he gets belittled for it. Like, Iruka's like, what the hell, stop goofing around, stop. I'm like, what the fuck, no way. This kid not only can transform into other people, he can make up people to transform into. That's even better. Like, sure, okay, I can transform into the head of any village. People might suspect who that is. If I just transform into a new guy, I can literally blend into plain fucking sight. It's unbelievable. This kid clearly is a freaking genius. I don't know how he's failed. I genuinely don't understand. Because he's clearly very talented. He outwitted 2 other ninjas for a long enough time. Makes up an entirely new jutsu, something I assume to be quite difficult. And yet for some reason everyone's just kind of like, no, you're a failure. I really don't get that. Anyway, it continues on with the story. And this is a really lovely moment where you actually see Naruto's cleaning up the mess. And, Iruka basically tells him, you can't go home until you're done. And this is the first moment where you actually hear Naruto says, I'm an orphan. Well, he doesn't say I'm an orphan. He says, it's not like there's anyone for me to go back home to. And Iruka's like, oh, he's an orphan. He's just acting out. And it's a lovely scene. At the same time, the 4th is an asshole. Okay? The 4th Hokage is he fucking took an orphan. Like, I understand, I actually know where this goes, I know in hindsight that this... But for episode 1, for all that we've known, for this being the first time you've ever seen this, all you know is that the 4th Hokage walked into an orphanage and went, I need one of your children for a very special mission. And they went, okay, and they fucking gave him a child. Like, what the fuck? I genuinely can't understand the process that went through his head where he was like, okay, I can seal it away. Should I seal it away into our greatest warrior and make him more powerful? Nah, let's seal him away into the kid. But the parents are going to be pissed off. I've got it. Let's go steal me an orphan. It makes Little Annie Orphan seem very different film in my opinion. Little Orphan Naruto. And you then see Iruka kind of being nice to him. Takes him in and he takes him out for food. Which, by the way, they come to this shot. I mean, just look at this.
RKO out of nowhere!
Like, what are these guys doing exactly? Like, they must be having a good time, whatever they're doing. But, sorry, that just kind of caught my attention when watching it. Anyway, we have a lovely moment where basically Iruka and Naruto kind of share a moment, and Naruto basically says, I'm going to be Hokage. Rightfully so, in my opinion. He's clearly more advanced than an awful lot of people. He took on 3 ninjas to kind of evade out of their way. He has made up his own jutsu. He's quite young. I don't see a reason why he's not already kind of in the running for it. But apparently that's a laughable kind of stuff. Iruka kind of looks at him like he's insane. I don't know why. Anyway, cut to them taking the test, and this time they have to make clones of themselves. Huge ethical dilemma there, but I suppose for a bunch of ninjas skulking around trying to kill each other, maybe cloning's not that big enough effort for them. And Naruto looks scared because he's like, oh no, this is my worst subject. And I'm like, what? How do you have a bad subject? Like, you literally transformed into a... How the hell can making clones of yourself really be... Is it that difficult? Apparently it is. Naruto tries, fails miserably, makes, like, this weird, pale, zombie-like version of himself on the floor, and they're like, sorry, you fail. He does one thing wrong. Bear in mind all of the shit that he's done up to this point. Fails in this one test, gone. Goes to show you that local testing is bollocks, doesn't it? Testing is just a horrible way of doing it. Anyway, Naruto doesn't pass. They're like, one of the guys is even sitting there kind of going, well, he tried, and, he still wants... He tries to be the good guy towards Naruto, and he's like, yeah, well, he's tried 3 times, he wants to do it, he's still made a clone. And Naruto's just sitting there going, yeah, but it sucks, so no. Again, generalized testing, bollocks. It then cuts to everyone else celebrating that they've been inducted into being ninjas, and Naruto kind of sitting there looking all sad. And you hear people kind of talk about him, and this is something that I kind of love, is They're referencing like, oh well, you know, it's this kid's fault for failing. Of course he's a failure because he might be, and they're like, oh, don't talk about it. I'm saying, they're going, are we not supposed to know he's a demon fox? Because they literally do a fade through into it. There is literally a sequence where they fade from the child who has clearly been made into the demon fox baby into Naruto. He's the only other spiky-haired blonde kid running around town. How am I not supposed to know this? Like, I assume I am supposed to know this, and it's just supposed to be a secret for someone. But I'm like, how the And again, why hasn't Naruto kind of brought this up? Why hasn't he been like, bitch, please? I've been made into a demon fox without wanting to. Make me into a ninja. Fuck you. Boom. Apparently that's not in his style, and that's not in his nature. And again, you see him be alone, which is kind of interesting. This is where white-haired ninja friend. Now, I do know his name. I'm going to purposely not say his name for one single reason. He is so unfucking important, and he is so shit. I'm just going to call him my white-haired ninja bastard. And loads of people are going to be upset about it, going, why won't you? I'm going to go out of my way not to say his name. For the simple reason that he is so unimportant. He kind of kicks off this story, but for the most part, and I know this for a fact, I knew this like before because I have watched the series onwards, but even coming at it as an entirely new viewer watching it, he is so unfreaking important that he's just the white ninja hair guy, okay? So white ninja hair guy comes up, he's the one who said that Naruto should have been inducted into a ninja anyway, and tells Naruto that there is a way. That if he does this one thing, well, he hints that there is a way for him to become a ninja, because he says, oh yeah, well, I shouldn't really tell you about it, it's a secret, but I'm going to tell you. It then cuts to the weirdest kind of voiceover flashback where Iruka remembers talking to the Hokage, the head of the village, the new powerful ninja. Seems to be the third. So I know from hindsight, but it's never really explained, but you can kind of jump to the conclusion that maybe the fourth died. I think they say he sacrificed himself, didn't they? So I feel kind of stupid about that. I feel like an idiot. I'm an idiot. They say he sacrificed himself to defeat the demon fox. He clearly did, and they reverted back to the third Hokage, who's now quite much older, but he is very wise. He then gives really weird advice, where basically it's all just there to basically go, this is the message, they share something. And it's just him basically saying to Iruka, hey, by the way, remember how you had your fucking family killed by the demon fox? Don't worry about it. So, cut Naruto some slack. Which I think is a dick move, because again, we know that Naruto is the demon fox baby. We know this. Like, no one in this watching at home going, I don't understand why is everyone hating Naruto? We know this. They're terrified of him, which is again something I don't understand. He was made into it. It's not like it was his choice, one. And two, clearly he's very powerful. He must be very powerful. He's making up his own jutsus. He's kicking ass and taking names. Somehow he failed the testing system, but who the fuck cares? He has a demon fox inside of him. But no, it's It basically explains that Iruka's family was killed during the demon fox attack. Just another reason why the fourth should have picked up his frickin' speed. I hope he's not like super fast or something. Epic foreshadowing. Anyway, and Iruka basically kind of goes, okay, I've had something in common with Naruto, and this is why I'm liking him, this is why I'm treating him nice. It then cuts to one of my favourite bits. These guys just randomly come up to the third Hokage and say, right, that's it. Well, sorry. White-haired ninja turns up at Iruka's door and says, it's Naruto! He's done something terrible! And you're sitting there going, oh my god, what could it possibly be? Turns out he stole, like, the master scroll of the city, right? And when I say this isn't like a register scroll. This is a scroll of, like, their secret, top-of-the-notch, best ninjutsu techniques ever. And I'm sitting there going, how fucking good is Naruto that he managed to beat past like some of the most... I hope it was elite guards anyway, right? Because there's only one of two ways to look at this, right? Either A, Naruto is that good, in which case I don't know why. Maybe he just doesn't test well. Like, has anyone brought this up? But I don't know why, but for some reason he didn't succeed in his test, sure. But he's kicked ass, made up his own jutsu, he's still he's stolen a freaking scroll, which I assume is guarded by some of the most elite, most talented badass ninjas, and now cannot even be found by the ninjas who are looking for him. That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is this village is fucking dreadful. That Naruto maybe isn't a good ninja because he actually only outwitted dreadful fucking ninjas. The reason that he's not passing is because idiots are teaching him. And there was no one guarding the scroll, and it was actually just out in a water fountain in the middle of the central city that Naruto just kind of walked up to him and went... Like, seriously? What the fuck? Like, they can't ever agree on the consistency here. And the worst part is, though, in the next sequence, we see exactly how badass it is, right? Because you see Naruto is reading the scroll. And when you find out what his power is from the scroll, because he gets like about, I don't know how long he must get to train with this scroll. I can't tell if it's supposed to be hours later, in which case they're really fucking bad at finding him, or if it's supposed to be 30 minutes, in which case Naruto is actually really good at studying, and he should just learn to study. He just doesn't study anymore, because he's clearly a fucking badass. Anyway, I love this. It gets promoted as like the failure ninja learns how to become his own. He's clearly not a fucking failure. He's very talented. And basically what happens is, he reads the scroll, has clearly been training, Iruka turns up, and then so does white-hair dumbass, white-hair ninja turns up and basically says to her, I'm not using his name, fuck you guys. White-hair ninja turns up and says to Iruka, says to Naruto, it finds out that he's the one who actually told Naruto to steal the scroll. It was a very roundabout way of saying that, so let's try that again, shall we? Iruka turns up, Naruto explains that if you learn a secret technique from the scroll, you're supposed to get in, and when Iruka says, who told you that, that's when White-Haired Ninja turns up and says, it was me all along! I taught Naruto how to sneak in and steal the scroll, or possibly just told him to pick it up at the local water fountain. And he's now trained either for 30 minutes or for several hours, as time has no fucking bearing in this place. But it's fine, because I've turned up and I'm going to fight. And it's really interesting though as well, because he throws a bunch of kunai at Iruka. He first throws out Iruka and Naruto, and Iruka throws Naruto out of the way and takes them all. And it's a little bit funny here, right? Because it pins him to the wall and it injures his leg. So okay, he's a bit injured. At the same time, I'm like, you threw like 12 of them. Couldn't have killed him. No, you have no. White-haired ninja is not a very talented ninja, in my opinion, because he threw a bunch of kunai, and unless he meant to just stick Iruka to the wall, which makes no sense, because clearly he meant to try and kill Naruto. Otherwise, why the fuck did Iruka throw him out the way? And I'm left sitting there going, it's a perfect body shape of Iruka now, and I don't know. Part of me is just kind of going, really? That's what we're. Fuck it. He's now pinned to the wall. He's slightly injured. And this is where the badassness of ninjahood comes in, right? Because Iruka manages to not only break free, but when White-Haired Ninja, after revealing his diabolical plan of I'll have the scroll, I'll kill Naruto, everything will be fine, throws a giant freaking ninja star right at Naruto. Iruka breaks free from this and then takes a ninja star square to the back, okay? Holy shit, this guy has went from, average, first what I thought would be an elite teacher to an average teacher to a fucking hardcore, right? So clearly they are badass ninjas, which again just doesn't explain how Naruto's been kicking everyone's ass, unless he's a super ninja. Anyway, Iruka takes a giant ninja star to the back. It leaves a proper exit wound as well. I can't help but think to myself, oh, you're going to die. There's no explanation but he basically explains to Naruto, I'm just like you, and you need to take the ninja scroll back. You need to run away because white-haired jackass is going to try and chase you down. White-haired jackass then reveals to Naruto, no, this isn't true. You're actually. Dun dun dun! Big shocker! You are actually the Demon Fox child, and we were told never to tell you, but because I'm leaving, fuck you, I'm telling you anyway. Worst reveal ever, by the way. That is so uninspiring, the reveal. Because we fucking knew! We fucking knew! Who didn't know that? Apparently the only person who didn't know... He even says in the show, the only person who doesn't know that is you, Naruto! And I'm like, why? Why did nobody want to tell this kid that he has a demon fox inside? Surely that's going to make this kid's life a lot easier, is knowing he's got this kind of power. But apparently not. Apparently that's it, and they just left him wondering why people hated him. Because they really do make that deal about it, like when everyone's complaining about Naruto stealing the scroll, you can tell it's not just someone who's like disobeyed broken a rule or even disobeyed a law. They fucking want blood. They're all sitting there like, damn Naruto, we must kill him, and you're saying, well, they clearly don't like him, and the demon fox makes sense. The thing fucking killed everybody. Personally, I'd be more pissed off at the fourth, but he's not here. He may as well hate Naruto. And anyway, it then leads to Naruto running away. It cuts to the third Hokage with his magic ball. He has a magic crystal ball that he's watching at. Like, seriously, just take a look. What the fuck? It's really, I don't know why, I don't know what it was, but all of the ninjutsu or ninja magic or however you want to word it has been really cool all this time. This makes no fucking sense for one simple reason. He's actually watching Naruto, as you hear in the what he's talking about. Why has nobody else found him? Like, why did the third only send out Iruka? Why did the third let anyone... If the third can just watch people with his crazy magic ball, why has anything bad ever happened? Why the hell didn't they know about the demon fox beforehand? Why couldn't they have gotten the fourth quicker? Why, like, he has a fucking magic ball that can see anywhere. This genuinely boggles my freaking mind. How is he not spying on everyone right now? That rant's over, that's pathetic, but it's a really stupid fucking thing, and if I'm not mistaken, it never comes up again. Anyway, it goes on to basically reveal Naruto running down, he's running away, Iruka turns up, and lo and surprise, I think this is quite impressive that Iruka turns up, by the way, because he's had the shit kicked out of him, and he turns up to chase down Naruto. But, surprise, it wasn't actually Iruka at all, it was actually the white-haired ninja. So, white-haired ninja reveals, it wasn't actually Iruka, because it wasn't actually Iruka all along. It was me, Naruto, but how did you know? How did you know it was me and know to tackle me and hit me? And Naruto, turns out, isn't actually Naruto, it's Iruka. Making Iruka even more badass. This guy's taking a kunai to the knee, taking a freaking giant ninja star to the back, had enough energy to not only chase ahead of the white-haired ninja who left before him, who really should have killed him by now, to be entirely honest with you, chased ahead of him to transform into Naruto in the process. Like, what the fuck? This guy is definitely an elite ninja, right? Like, he has to be... Why the hell is he teaching kids? He needs to be out there kicking everyone's ass. He just can't die. He's a fucking... Anyway, it comes to a point where basically Iruka explains that although Naruto is a demon fox, he is not a monster, he is just a child who wants to be loved, who wants to be respected, and who's going to get that wish. See this guy's reaction from mine. Yeah, it's a bit over the fucking top, in my opinion. But thankfully, Naruto is there. Thankfully, Naruto overhears everything of this, comes out of the woodworks and kind of goes, you know what, I'm going to kick your ass, evil white-haired man. And evil white-haired man basically goes, oh fucking really? Because you're a failure, apparently. Because you failed one test. And Naruto basically says, no, but I have learned the ancient scroll technique. I'm going to send it back, I'm going to do what you do 100 times, 1,000 times over, and he makes a shit ton of clones of himself. And it's really funny as well, because Ruka says this random thing where he's like, oh wow, those are solid clones, those aren't just images. And Barley's going, were they just images before? Like, no one ever said that. No one ever said that they weren't actually physically cloning themselves. But apparently shadow clones are physical, normal clones aren't. They don't go into... They explain that later on, I know. Hindsight's great because they do eventually go into that kind of stuff. But for the first episode, they haven't said that at all until like now. And it's a very throwaway line. He just suddenly goes, oh, those are solid clothes, unlike the other clothes. And part of me is going, where the fuck did that come into it? But apparently, he makes a bunch of copies of himself that are solid and physically able and kick the crap out of the white-haired ninja. Which makes me wonder what is on this scroll, right? Because they basically say he's a failure. He then learns this technique, which is apparently a hidden, secret, uber technique. In either, even if it is a couple of hours, right? Because they really don't specify if it's 30 minutes or if it's a couple of hours. But even if it's a couple of hours, because he does look quite tired when Iruka catches him training. This is still supposed to be a high-level elite shit. So A, clearly, again, backs up the theory, Naruto's a freaking genius and people need to cut him some slack, he just doesn't test well. And B, it just makes you think to yourself, what was written down on this? Because it's a big thing for basically saying, you know kids, if you study, you can become a badass just like Naruto. Naruto only took time out to study and became even better. He stopped pulling pranks, he studied, and he became the best he could be. And I'm like, wow, what a weird way of telling kids to study. It did make me think though, like with the scroll, I was wondering if it was going to be like a moment from Kung Fu Panda. He was going to reveal it and it was just going to be a see-through, or reflective, sorry, he was just going to see himself. Or maybe that is what happened and he thought, oh, I need to make more of me. If I make more of me, I will conquer the world. I don't know. But anyway, Naruto makes a bunch of copies of himself, beats the crap out of white-haired ninja guy. This is how unimportant he is, right? He got the jump on Iruka twice. Didn't do enough damage to hurt Iruka. Didn't do enough damage to really stop him from doing much, though. Didn't kill him any of the opportunities he had. Then just got beaten by what everyone's been calling a failure, but admittedly I still say is a freaking genius. Gets beaten by this kid. There is about 1,000 of them, so he's quite outnumbered. But he sucks. He really does suck. And it just backs up the theory, in my opinion, that a lot of ninjas in the Leaf Village seem to suck balls, in my opinion. They are just not very talented at all. And then it ends with a really kind of cheesy line. Iruka, says you did well. You beat this very crummy ninja, but you beat a ninja. You beat a qualified ninja. So because of that, he gives him his headband, which is lovely. He gives him his headband. Says, "Here you are. You are now a qualified ninja." And then does this really terrible voiceover where he says, I don't want to tell Naruto now, but it's only going to get harder when he becomes a ninja. But I'll tell him soon, because it'll ruin the moment. Maybe I'll tell him over ramen. Which is just, after all the action that we've sequenced, in my opinion, a bit of a letdown. There's also an amazing moment where the third just comes walking out and tells the angry mob of ninjas, who have still not found him, by the way, still not found Naruto, tells the angry mob of ninjas, goes, it's alright guys, Naruto will be back and he'll bring back the scroll, everything's better. And not one of them stops and goes, how do you know that? Like, no one's like, how do you know that? Like, how can you be, oh, well, my magic ball. You can watch us with a magic ball? We've been searching for this kid for so long, you've been fucking reading, you dick! I'm beginning to think that Hokage is actually just like as opposed to meaning like high ninja or high lord or high. It just means fucking jerk. It's just the biggest jerk in the village gets picked for it. And I've kind of slagged it off quite a bit here, haven't I? Why in the world would I be so into a show if it's got all these things wrong with it? Well, let me put on my fan hat. Tell you why this show is awesome. And it is. It's one of my top animes that I love watching. I've always enjoyed the anime. I've always really enjoyed where it went and the story that came of it. But the reason that episode 1 is awesome is because, okay, they give you backstory. It's really not about the story. The story's kind of simple. It's about the characters. And they set up an entire episode just about the main character. That's important to me. That's a really important factor. It's a reason why I got into quite a lot of animes. And it's a reason why I love Naruto so much. Is it gives you a strong belief in the character, but it does it in the most unique way in episode 1. And that is the fact that it makes you realize you don't like the main character to begin with, because you don't. I'm sorry. It's you see him deface the great statue. You see him run amok around the town. Particularly the moment where they have him, he has him make him hold back the entire class because he didn't turn up. I have personal regret. I'm sitting there going, I remember this. What an asshole. And they really do. They give him the worst catchphrase where he's like, "Believe it." Although I will say they only actually use that once in the opening episode, in the episode 1. He only says it once, which is quite nice. But because of you resenting him, it becomes even more appropriate, and you take on more of the stance of being the village. Because you kind of resent, like, I personally started resenting him because he's the main character, and yet he's not doing anything with his power. I made jokes earlier on, but he genuinely does have great potential in him, clearly, with some of the stuff he does. But he's such a slacker, and he's such a waster, and he's everything that you kind of don't want in a main character. And they then make you realize, through Iruka and through some of the other stuff, he's an orphan. He's an orphan. He didn't know about this power that he has. He doesn't know why everyone hates him, but they clearly do. They make it very clear that people don't like him. He's had no one else to kind of raise or guide him. Although Iruka's kind of doing it now as a teacher, even he says, "I wish I could have been there more for you." And it's not until the end of this episode where you see it all come together and you see what Naruto can be, where he goes up against the final enemy, that you realize it's not Naruto's fault. We're expecting so much from him, and he's a child. And he's been a lonely child as well, resented, without parents, without any knowledge of why anyone treats him like they do, or why he is orphaned, or any of these things. They keep so many secrets from him that you can't help but just suddenly go, by the end of the episode, I've been really hard on this little boy. And I think that's kind of important because it makes you so forgiving of a lot of the crap that he does later on. Because you kind of sit back and kind of go, no, I'm being really hard on him. He doesn't know better. That when he starts to learn better, and when you actually realize you're watching him grow up, it's quite impressive in my opinion. It's so well done. And although Naruto has some of the best action sequences, has some really in-depth, clever storylines, and goes off in some really clever ideas, the episode 1 breaks it down to just the character and tells you, you're not going to like this character every time, which is a bold statement, but here's why. Here's always the reasons why he's going to make poor choices. And I think that's that's a bold statement for any show to do, let alone an anime. Let alone this particular anime, let alone anything. So yeah, that's why I'm a fan. On a last note, I've said this in my kind of preview thing on season 0, but as you know, I'm planning on doing Fanime Friday, a weekly show. I do watch quite a bit of anime. There's a list of the animes that I watch in the description below. But I'm looking for more. This is where I need your help. I'm looking for more animes to watch. I'm looking for particular episodes or characters that you want me to talk about, that you think are great or you think suck or whatever. I'm gonna be looking for really interesting ways of kind of bringing them into it. Starting off maybe doing entire story arcs kind of stuff. I'm basically needing your help though to find out which animes. Like I say, there are animes in the description below are the ones that I've watched or do watch. So I'm looking for even more. And if you're looking for even more, please do subscribe to the channel. There'll be more Fanamie Fridays. There'll be Trope Tuesdays, terrible TV movies. It's all coming. Where? Well, right here on Season 0.
My name's Mizuki, and I got an entire filler named after me. I am important, asshole.